Hey guys, it's me. It's Todd from Like Minded Lunatics, bringing you, yes, it's another drink, play, swear. It's all we do around here. I mean, besides hanging around the local library trying to figure out what a microfiche was, it's all we ever did around here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Drink, Play, Swear, and welcome back to Like Minded Lunatics. Hey, bang, if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. Bang, it'd be helping us out a lot and showing us how big this family of weirdos is getting. Bang! I'd love it if you did. No, Like Minded Lunatics is not just me here at Drink, Play, Swear. It's also my buddy and writing partner, Mark Gifford, doing the Friday night videos. As far as I'm concerned, it's a crown jewel of this operation. If you're not watching those, you're not watching the best of YouTube. Okay. What do we do here at Drink, Play, Swear? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. I play a game. Today, it's a classic one. Pair it with the beverage, and I tell you a story. So what are we playing today? It's Breakthru on the NES. That's right. Breakthru. And I don't know if you know this game, but it's great. It was one of my first 5 games. So we're going to be playing Breakthru today, and we're going to talk about it. And with it, I'm going to be pairing it with, hey, if you're tired of me pairing it with the same old thing, well, you'll be thrilled today. That's right, today, changing it up. That's right, I got a Sam Adams Boston Lager. Get yourself something, please. Crisp refreshment. And I'm going to tell you a story today. What are we getting into in terms of the story? Well, before we get there, I want to talk about this game a little bit. Breakthru was great. It was one of my first 5 NES games. That's right. And Breakthru was a gift from my cousin. Shout out to my cousin, Billy. My cousin, he probably goes by Bill now. I haven't talked to you in a long time, Billy, but man, I gotta say, you and your wife were always the best gift givers. You have those people in your life who you don't see but a few times a year, but when you do see them for your birthday or for Christmas, great gift givers. They always kind of knew what you wanted, and this game was a gift from them when I was a kid. That's right, this thing is 35 years old. Hey, if you wondered, Billy, if this was a good gift for me, I still got it. I'm still playing it all these years. Great game. My first 5 NES games were, in order of getting them, Super Mario Brothers, of course, came with the action set. Then I had, let's see, Pro Wrestling. I had this game, Breakthru, I think was my 3rd game. Ghosts and Goblins was 4. Wizards and Warriors 5. And I probably had those 5 games and only those 5 games for like a year or 2. So those are the big ones. So I played this a lot. And believe it or not, this game, Breakthru, is the first video game I ever beat. That's right. At like 6 years old or whatever it was. It's not an easy game, but I played it a gazillion hours. And I haven't played it recently, but I love it. It feels like home. The soundtrack feels like home. The gameplay feels like home. Great game. All right, what are we getting into in terms of the story today? Well, I've told you in the past stories about jobs I've had, right? But I've never talked to you about working in the library. That's right. When I was in college, I had a part-time gig working at the library. Shout out to Texas Lutheran University. Shout out to the Bulldogs. That's right. Cheers. Just beat level 1. In your face, Jim. No, I don't know why. I always picture Jim and his face judging me when I play these games.
Dude, you suck.
And then that boo sound that Mark always does when I play. You guys, you get off my back, man. I'm trying to have a good time. All right, so I worked at the library, right? And it was a cool gig because this is a small liberal arts school. And so not a lot of people there, unless like a class was coming to visit, you see. But during the evening hours, that wasn't happening. Not a lot of people there. Cush gig, because all you had to do was sit there and help people check out books. And because it's a library, did you see that? Now, why is it? I've wondered this since I was a kid. Why would you explode touching water? I get it. It's a heavy tank. You'd probably drown and die. I'm not disputing that. Why would you explode? Anyway, worked at the library. Because it's a library, there's not even any money being exchanged, so it's a super easy job. Ooh, made the jump. No big deal. And then died immediately. Pretty easy job, you just hang out. Every hour, you'd have to walk around and log how many people were in the library. And usually it was like, in the evening hours, like 10 or 15. So no problems at the library except for one night. It's the night I want to talk to you about tonight. It is the subject of my story. Now, it's the night that I believed that I had an encounter with a ghost. That's right. Now, I will say, to give you context for this story, that as of right now, I don't actually think that I believe in ghosts. This is something that probably evolves over time in every person's life and in every person's opinion. Maybe you're staunchly on one side or the other. My mother staunchly believed in ghosts. She had what she believed were several experiences with ghosts. My father firmly did not believe in ghosts. Game over again. Been playing this game 35 years. Game over.
Ooh, you suck!
So, let me set the scene for you in terms of the evenings at the library. You always worked with one other student, but the main librarians, these women wanted to go home to their families or home to their cats or home to whomever, and they didn't work the closing shift. So you and another student would work the closing shift the last couple of hours at the library. And when it was time to wrap up, what you do is, this library was 3 floors, okay? It was the main floor. Look at this. I love the spread weapon. Awesome. It was the 3 floors. It was the main floor. Then it was an upper floor and then the basement, okay? So what you would do when you were closing down is that one of you would go upstairs, one of you would go down to the basement, and then you'd tell everybody to go home. Scram! I'm gonna go home and play Madden, or whatever. And then you would, I made a little progress there. Then you would wait till everyone would leave, and then you would together clear out the main floor. So that was kind of the strategy. So on this particular evening, I was gonna take the basement. And my colleague was gonna go upstairs. So I go down to the basement, right? And right when I get down to the basement, I open the door, and I hear a little kid, what sounds like a little girl, giggle. Okay. This does not upset me. This is not an alarming thing. A child laughing is not generally a frightening sound, right? I take note of where I hear them, and I decide that I'm going to go to that area last. Now, it was not uncommon for children to be down there, even though this was a university library, because continuing education folks would sometimes, look at these choppers, dude. This is hard. This part made me rage quit as a kid so many times. There would be continuing education folks, you know, moms or dads, single parents, who are trying to finish their education, and they got their kids with them, and so they go down to the basement, let the kids run around a little bit while they finish studying. So that was typical enough that when I heard a little kid, I thought, okay, I'll go over there last so I don't bother them until I really need to go, until we really are closing. So I walk the perimeter of the place. I walk the 4 corners, and I'm going to plan on going to their corner. I hear that little kid. I'm going to go to that corner last. So I do the first corner. There's nobody down there. I do the second corner. There's nobody down there. I do the third corner. There's nobody down there. So now I'm going to go to the final corner and tell this mom or dad and this kid that they got to go on home. There's no one there. Now, what I want to note for you is that the door to go upstairs is big, heavy metal, right? And it's got one of those horizontal bars on it that makes a really loud sound when you push it in. You'd have to be very strong if you wanted to try to push it silently. There's just no way. And even the door closing was a loud metal thunk when you left. And so there was no way, a conceivable way, that someone left the basement while I was wandering around down there. So now I start to feel a little creepy, right? Little kid. I've seen a million horror movies in my life. Little kids giggling in a library at night? Okay. So now the tough part is, you see, I got to turn the light out. And I got to go upstairs. But the distance between the light and the door to go upstairs, roughly 40 feet, okay? Not close by. The lights were along the perimeter, but the door was more kind of in the center. So I have no shame in the fact that I behaved this way. I'm going to tell you right now, I turned that light out and I sprinted towards the door, got to the door, slammed it open, and ran upstairs. Get to the main floor. My colleague is already waiting for me. He goes, "What took you so long?" I'm like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Hey, was there anybody upstairs?" She goes, "Nah, it's empty." I go, "It's empty?" "Yeah, the whole place is empty." I said, "I heard a little kid." He goes, "I don't think so. I've been standing here by the front door. I didn't see anybody." I said, "Well, dude, let's together go do a whole perimeter search, upstairs, downstairs, because we can't, you gonna lock somebody in there all night? No, especially if it's a kid." So we did a whole perimeter search of the library, upstairs, downstairs, in the basement. Nobody's there. Well, I go home and I try to forget about it, and I managed to. I think I tell the story to a roommate, but it was just kind of like I tried to make it like spooky for them and like laugh it off, joke it off. The next shift I was working with the same guy, and it was during the day, and there was a librarian there, and I punch in, and my colleague says to the librarian, "Oh, hey, Todd thought he heard a ghost the other night." And the librarian looked at me and she said, "Oh, what did you experience?" And I said, "Nah, it's nothing. I just thought I heard a little girl laughing." And she goes, "Oh, the little girl." And I'm like, What are you talking about?" And she says, "The woman who cleans the bathrooms here in the library has often remarked that she sees a little girl, and that there will be a little girl just watching her, clean out the trash or clean the sinks or whatever. And that she will just gently say to the little girl, 'It's time to go home, mija,' or it's time to go home, honey." And then the little girl, when this woman looks up, into the drink, will be gone. And that she's harmless and she's kind. Okay, harmless and kind is fine, but I didn't sign up for this, so I was freaked out. To this day, I don't know what happened. Was there, those old libraries? They make their noises in the ventilation system. People between floors. Maybe there was some kid that was leaving. Hard to tell, right? Hard to tell. But in that moment, it felt like I had some sort of evidence of the supernatural. Okay, quick thing as I'm wrapping up today. I will say that on the way out of that job, I pulled a little prank that I feel like I need to admit to as I finish level 2. On the way out, there was a message board, okay, that you could see as you walked into the library. And it was behind a glass case, and you would arrange little letters on this horizontal track to spell out what you wanted to spell, right? And it said, "Welcome to the library," and it had all the librarians' last names and their telephone extensions. Well, my last night working at the library, I took all the letters down, right? So I unlocked it because I had the key, opened the case, took all the letters down. And so if you visited the Texas Lutheran University Library circa May 2000, you may have walked into the library and found the message board blank except for one line that said, "Suck my balls." I'm sorry, I was 20. I mean, what do you want me to say? I've always been refined and mature. Suck my balls. I must admit, I am just as refined and mature today. All right, thanks for being with us here at Drink, Play, Swear. And in between now and the next time I talk to you, I'm Todd. See ya.